Welcome back everyone, Ronan here, and today I'm bringing you a bit of a guide on Dark Souls 2 Skull of the First Sin. It's more or less a beginner's guide to try and help some of the players that may not have played the game yet. I'm going to try to keep it short. There's a lot I could talk about Dark Souls 2. The game itself has a steep learning curve. Even when you're a good player in this game, you still end up dying once in a while. So I reset all my stats for you guys. One of the most important stats would be adaptability. Adaptability is what's going to help you dodge and use things faster, like your Estus, because adaptability will affect agility. Agility is affected by attunement and adaptability. So depending on how many attunement slots you are going for, you may not need as much adaptability. So the agility is actually what is going to make you faster in combat using items and help you with your iframes. I usually go at about a 25. I want that 105. That way it makes me not lazier, but safer, and I feel pretty comfortable dodging everything. I'm going to post a link in the description about stat weights. I'm not going to cover all of the stat weights, but there are soft caps, so just be aware of that when you're trying to maximize your stats, that you're not going overboard. If you go 99 into something, you're not maximizing your stats, you're actually hindering yourself. The other thing I want to cover is, right now you can notice my stats are kind of all over. It's because I was trying to do a mundane build. That should be it for stats. Weapons. Basically for weapons, and this is something that I didn't even get for quite a while, you can use basically almost any weapon and make it viable. What makes the weapon good, it's not really the damage it does, it's the move sets. Get comfortable, start liking weapons for its moveset. I know some weapons are, higher damage, higher speed. It's all about how you like to play. I personally don't like playing with giant clubs all that much, but that's just me. They do a lot of damage, but to me they're too slow for my playstyle. I'm not really big on parrying. I know parrying is awesome. I'm not that great at it. I mostly dodge. I know a lot of people use shields. I never really use a shield except for maybe the last boss fight. Just to show here, you can see the red X where I'm holding my dragon tooth. Now, if you hold it in one hand because I don't have enough strength, you can't use it properly, and you won't be doing as much damage because you don't have the right stats. But for PlayStation controllers triangle, now you hold it with two hands, you only need half the stats to be able to use it properly. So with 25 strength, I can wield the dragon tooth normally and do the normal damage. It won't have any scaling on it, but you will have the proper move set for it. So if you want to use it in one hand, you'll need 50 strength. So that's true for any weapon, as long as you have the dexterity requirement. I didn't really know this for quite a while there, and that's pretty sad because I have probably over 600 hours in this game right now. I'm going to show this with two rapiers. Personally, I do like rapiers right now. I've been having a lot of luck with those weapons. They're pretty strong, they're quick, they fit my playstyle. So if you have half the agility higher than the stats, let's say you have a weapon that needs 10 dexterity and you have 15, you can power stance them, so you can wield them both at the same time. And you do the same thing by holding down triangle as opposed to just tapping triangle. So now basically you can hit with both weapons. And I'm pretty sure it takes the moveset from the right hand weapon. Let's pick a class. So when you start your game, I've been doing a lot of speedrunning. Well, not really speedrunning, fast runs, because I don't finish in like the record times or anything. And I'm trying a lot of no-death runs. So, for my class and gift, my recommendation, all of them are viable. I mean, if you do a soul level 1 run, you're going to be using the Deprived. That's all you got. All of these are viable builds to start with. I used to go with the Explorer for the extra lockstone and the items it starts with. But now I started going with Sorcerer because it's probably the easiest class to start with. It's the fastest one to kill stuff. When I do a no death run, it's just safer and it's easier to get to places faster in the beginning, and that's the main reason why I use Sorcerer. Explorer is really good, you get some good items to start with. Cleric, if you want to start with healing abilities. All the other classes I haven't really started. I know the Knight has higher adaptability at the beginning, so it's a good class to consider if you're doing a human challenge. I almost forgot to talk about the gifts. All gifts are viable options. You can start with a bonfire aesthetic if you know how to use them and where to use them to advantage, so that you can reset the bonfire and get the items again, but it makes the enemies New Game Plus. Bonfire aesthetic is good if you're not that great at PvP and you want to have an extra chance to survive a longer PvP fight or invasion. Healing items are great. The ring, I wouldn't get the ring because you get life ring early on anyway. But other than that, they're pretty much all good items to get. You could even go with none and still make it work. Here is where you would get the binoculars. So you can get the chime there if you didn't start as a cleric, if you were planning on using miracles. And the binoculars are right here. In here I fail, and yeah, I fell. Good tips, good tips. As I make it back, what I was trying to say, so you come this way for the binoculars. I see a lot of bloodstains just after this part, and there's mine, because I'm a noob. So I see a lot of people trying to run, or I see ghosts trying to run up this, and I'm not sure if it's even possible to run and jump it. You just want to go where I showed you the path, and you fall down and you get it safely. Just be mindful not to run like an idiot after, like I did. So in Majula, there's a few things you may want to do. One thing I started doing a lot now, and that's because I kind of saw a speed guide, and it's kill Mocklin the Armorer. You kill him and you steal his, well, you don't steal it at that point. You loot his corpse. His armor set gives you bonus to experience, and it's actually really nice. It gives you a really nice boost. It's something like 50% extra or 40% extra, because it's 4 pieces. You put that on with the covetous silver ring, and I think you're at about 50 or 60%. So also as a caster, this is easier to do. Or as an explorer, you can use your hexing herns, and they also work pretty well at killing him. So now you have the Tseldora set. The stats and weight of it, well, the weight's pretty nice, it's very low, but the defensive stats on them are garbage. Like, you better be sure that you know how to dodge and avoid abilities and attacks. So from here, what I highly recommend doing is running to the Dragon Rider. So we're gonna do that now. Now, if you're doing a no death run, I don't recommend doing this part. But if you're not doing a no death run, you could have jumped there. I generally skip it, because that's only really if you're doing a speed run. It would save you probably, what, like 8 or 10 seconds? The reason why I say come to Dragon Rider first before the Force of Giants is for that 20, or actually 30,000 XP boost. So you want to wait here, count to about 6 steps, and then you run to his right side. And then he falls. So he's really easy to kill, and even if you don't make him fall, he's still really easy to kill. You can dodge his abilities fairly easily. Now you run to the bonfire, and the reason why I say about 30,000 XP is because once you use his soul, it gives you a bonus 8 and every other soul that you've found. And I found that was a really good start for a no death run, or any other run really, because of the souls you get at the beginning. You get to boost the stats you need to wear the equipment you actually want to before the first boss. Well, technically second at this point, but before the giant and the pursuer. So in my opinion, this really helps out. What I do, I put 6 strength so I can wield the club with 2 hands. Usually 12 dex for the rapier, but I wasn't starting with the rapier today. And a bit of endurance. And you always want to show you have the adaptability you feel you're comfortable with. Get used to playing unlocked. Playing locked is fine on smaller ads. But you can get your backstabs a lot easier if you play unlocked. And for a lot of bosses, you are able to see them better and predict their movesets a lot better. If you play a little bit unlocked, it will actually improve your gaming skills quite a bit. I'm not sure if I show this in this video yet though. The Iron Soldiers, Now generally I dodged that, but I missed it this time. You can just get them to, or bait them to hit the barrels, and they'll kill themselves off. Or at least here anyway. One thing to point out, if you put your soapstone down here to help somebody kill the pursuer, which I often do on my no death run, I try to do it 2 to 3 times. It gives you roughly 25,000 experience for killing the pursuer right here instead of killing them later on in the level. So if you try to help people, and there's often people summoning you here, so if you're just starting, put your soapstone down here. Hopefully you get summoned to kill the pursuer. Just make sure you know that you only get 1 shot. I would recommend getting the fire longsword or having better spells. Something, at least a buff for your weapon. Club works nice. And just remember his pattern and how to dodge him. The dagger takes a long time, so I'm going to skip ahead and show you the XP gain. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, if your soapstone is down and you get summoned while you're fighting him, he disappears and it counts as if you ran away. So make sure you know this. Okay, so we have Father Gregor. I'm going to show it in his world. I got summoned. And sometimes it delays. Kind of bullshit. Just about dead. Pro strat of using, well, it's nice that he parried a lot, but using the dagger because my staff's almost broken. Nice. Alright. So then you'll see 21,000 experience. Mind you, I am wearing a Seldora set, so maybe it's more like 15,000. But it's a big boost early on in the game because you can get almost 75,000 easily for the giant, depending on how often you get summoned. Alright, upgrading. One thing I wanted to mention, upgrading weapons makes a huge difference. In my opinion, the weapons that require Titanite shards are better in the long run for the most part because they get more upgrades. So the scaling kind of becomes better because they had 10 upgrades of roughly, was it 10%? The boss weapons, the ones that take Twinkling Titanite, are much better right off the bat. They're much stronger, they have higher stats. And they upgrade nicely, but in the long run, I think they upgrade less than a normal weapon in the long run. Then again, like I said before, though, it depends on the moveset. Depends on what you're comfortable with. Like here, I have a 231 rapier that took Twinkling Titanite. It only increased about 50 damage points for the rapier. The rapier is strong though, as opposed to a weapon like the Dark Scythe that I use. That went double. You get twice the amount, and I think I showed this here by reinforcing a weapon. Most the plus 10 weapons, you will double their damage. Because I don't have enough Twinkling Titanite to show this right now. I could have hacked the Twinkling Titanite if I wanted to, but I don't really need to hack the game. But I guess for information purposes, would have been nice. Also, the same thing goes with the Dragon Bone. The petrified dragon bone that you use to upgrade. It only goes to plus 5. So here it goes up 10% per point, it looks like, from the base number. And now if you go to a plus 10 weapon, in the long run, the increase will be higher. And that's just my opinion on that. It doesn't mean boss weapons are not as good. They are definitely good. Some of them, it's the moveset, like I said, you have to look into. So I'm going to buy 2 here, just to show the difference. So 120 is the base, so you get 10% per point from the base stat. Plus 12 again. So you go plus 12 10 times, which is 120. Which means after 10 levels, it's now a double. Now the boss weapons don't go to double. The boss weapons will only go to 50% increase, I believe. Just something to keep in mind, that you can get a pretty powerful weapon early on in the game. Especially in Scholar First Sin, because you can unlock McDuff and the Ember really quick. And then you get unlimited large shards, and you just need to find the small ones. But the small ones are easy to find at the beginning. But like I said, boss weapons, the weapons that take Dragon Bone and Twinkling Titanite, are much stronger early on when they're unupgraded. And they'll still be strong after the fact, because they generally have a really nice scaling. But keep looking for the movesets. That's a key point. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you appreciate the video. Hopefully it helps you out play Dark Souls a little bit better. Get used to dodging, parrying, play unlocked. Look into stats. I'll post the link in the video for for Dark Souls stats. Yeah, play the way you want to play. Caster, Faith. Try not to be an all-around build. Like, you want to be doing miracles, sorceries, pyromancies all in once. You know, like, just pick one, and you should be doing pretty good. I mean, life gems. Sorry, consumables. I forgot to go over consumables. Consumables are amazing. They are really potent. Life gems will save your life, especially if you do no death run. Spam those life gems. They only cost 300 each. It's very useful. Even if you have to use one after every ad, after a while, they're worth it. And probably the best ranged attack is the poison arrow. Buy all you can, and you can get those after you meet Gavlan for the. After you meet Gavlan for the third time, he will sell you as many poison arrows as you want. Use them. Those and then poison knives.
Yes. Poison.
I mean, consumables don't use stamina, so you can use them to give you a stamina break, because that's a tip I think I forgot to go over also. Never run out of stamina. Your stamina is super important. If you're fighting, always leave yourself enough to roll away. You don't want to run out of stamina, just you're standing there and all of a sudden you get killed because you couldn't dodge the next 2 attacks coming your way. I appreciate your guys' support. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if it's something you want to see more of. I will try to get back to making guides as much as possible. Right now we're kind of stalemate on Final Fantasy XIV, so I apologize for that. So again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
See ya.